vampire dungeons, car washes, and a bunch of waste of space small-time lifers partying in a cemetery. Then we got some memories from 1953. Tiki's granddad remembers everything. And Elena, well, she might just believe him. Welcome back to Bloodlines and Backdrops, the podcast where we rewatch the Vampire Diaries with receipts. Again, I'm your host, Amber Janae. We're back with more connections, more receipts this episode. And we have, again, the OG Vampire Stalker, Jessica Lowry.
I'm here, y'all.
She is here. And today we're talking about Season 1, Episode 5, You're Undead to Me. I think this is a really good episode. It kind of takes you on a roller coaster, much like Elena breaking up and getting back together with Stefan 8 times an episode. It's very familiar to that.
Yes.
We got Damon rotting in a basement. We got Stefan running out of excuses as he literally just tries to buy her love with food in this episode. And then we meet Tiki's granddad, who is figuratively blowing shit up while Bonnie is literally blowing shit up. So it's getting crazy. So let's just say this is the episode where things start to click. And everyone may not make it out.
Yeah.
So let's get into it.
All right. So the first scene, I'm going to start out with Stefan visits Damon in the cell. Mm-hmm. And Damon's like, "Where's my ring?" And he's like, "You're not going to need that for a while.
Why do you got me in here? Do you know what's going to happen to me?"
Yeah. And it's like, dude, yeah.
Stefan don't care.
Now he tells him, "I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. You're going to be mummified without anything going on up there." So,
and in 50 years, we'll reevaluate.
Yeah.
50 years is a pretty long time to just sit and rot.
Right. And I was even thinking at that point, and Damon would have just, there would have never been a 50 years after that if he was doing it to Stefan.
There wouldn't have been a season 2.
No, there would not have been. So, and Stefan's like, in 50 years, we'll reevaluate.
Yeah, well, in 50 years is when season 2 starts. We're going ahead. Yeah, we're fast forwarding season 2, 50 years from, All right, and then back at Elena's house, Elena bumps into Vicky Donovan in their bathroom. She shares a bathroom with Jeremy. And she doesn't say...
Jack and Jill style.
Yeah, she doesn't really say anything about it. And Vicky makes a comment about, "Oh, I think you might be in trouble." And Jeremy's like, "No, they don't care." And Aunt Jenna doesn't care. She does let Elena know that it's not really that important to her. I think she's just happy that
he's not high.
That he's not high. Yeah, that Jeremy's like making friends and being sweet to a girl.
At least he's acting like a normal teenager.
Yes,
and she's good for that.
Yes. I gotta tell you, I love a checked out parental figure. I do.
Yeah.
I do. Especially on a show like this. Look, Jeremy's been through a lot, you know?
I think he deserves a little
I
bit
honestly think he deserves it. I mean, a couple weeks ago, we were talking about him popping pills and doing all this stuff, and now he's got a hot girl in his bed. I'm happy for him.
And this time he's a little upset because she's popping pills.
Yeah, he is.
He didn't like that she took his sister's pills.
He's going to get on to her about that in a little bit here. So Elena hasn't heard from Stefan in 3 long days.
Right. And she tells Jenna she doesn't care. She's not going to be one of those girls.
She is not going to be one of those pathetic girls who whole world stops spinning because of some guy. Which was kind of a weird thing for her to say to Jenna, knowing that Jenna's whole world stopped spinning because of some guy.
She had to leave town because of Monica.
Yes. She left town, skipped town for Scumfell. But yes. Anyways, do what you gotta do there. Now, Zach tells Stefan that if he wants to be normal, lying is gonna be part of that.
Right. He wants him to, kind of just step up and take care of business at this point, And
he says, listen, if, this life you want, but Stefan's kind of spiraling because the lies that he's telling Elena, she's not buying them.
No, and he is not very good at it.
No, he's not very good at lying at all. And obviously he can't really compel.
Right.
And he already gave her the vervain, so he can't really compel her anyways.
Yeah.
And plus, I don't think he's trying to be like that with her.
I think he wants to be a good guy. He
wants to be human.
He's a vampire.
Yeah, he's trying to be as human as possible.
Yes.
And it's just not possible.
Right. Yeah. Not happening. So, and Caroline tells Bonnie she has holes in her memory.
Yes.
And she's like, I don't know why I don't remember this. And Bonnie's staring at her candle the whole time.
Yeah, Bonnie's like, this is kind of like, Bonnie's so freaked out about what happened at Lockwood the episode before and all the candles lighting. She is paying attention to Caroline, but I think that...
I don't think she's really taking into account the fact that she just had bite marks all over her.
No, and I think that she's just thinking, oh, it's probably from the partying that you guys have been doing, or maybe the two of you have been drinking
or she
too
thinks
much.
she overreacts and does that a lot.
Yeah, or she's being a drama queen, right?
Yeah.
Because that would be something Caroline would do. She would be a drama queen.
Right.
But Bonnie and Elena, they both pick up on that. They say, hey, we don't think she is fine. So they're trying to figure out kind of how to address that, because it is kind of a sensitive issue when you're dealing with that kind of stuff.
And it's a different issue when it's that type of thing.
Yes, it is. And so they're kind of talking about that, but Caroline's not around yet.
Right.
And then Stefan comes over. He shows up, and Elena's like, whatever, she's trying to act all whatever, but inside she is losing her mind. She's
so excited. 5 days. And he's thinking.
He's like, I'm
you
sorry,
have no idea.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then Caroline's like, hey, where's Damon?
Yeah.
He's got some explaining to do. He's got some apologizing to do. And Stefan's like, well, he's never coming back. And I don't know if you noticed, but Elena's face, like, lights up right there.
She's like, oh, well, that's what you've been doing for 5 days.
Yeah.
That's okay.
So then
I'll take it.
She starts to change her mind a little bit. She's like, oh, so he was getting rid of Damon for Caroline.
Right.
So that wins him back some brownie points.
I think so.
For being missing for 3 days in that moment.
And then you've got Matt and Elena playing pool at the grill. And in case you didn't know, the grill here in Covington, Georgia, does not have a pool table.
It does not have a pool table. I don't even know where we can go play pool around here.
I don't either. Not anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I was never really good at it, so it doesn't matter. But I thought that was a sweet scene between the two of them.
Yes, I did.
And now that means Matt's back.
Yeah.
So Matt was not in the last episode. Now he's back.
Right.
But I thought that was a sweet scene because she's saying, like, I don't know if I should talk to you about boys. And then Matt reminds her, we were best friends before we dated. So that was really nice.
It's nice to see them coming back to where he's not just moony-eyed over her.
And he's not being manipulative at all.
Right.
He's definitely being really genuine and wanting to help her out. And he seems to like Stefan.
Yeah.
I do think that he seems
I think
to
he's learned. He's starting to think he's okay.
Yeah, and not just because he plays really good football.
Yeah.
So, Uncle Zach, Stefan tells Uncle Zach, right, don't go downstairs.
Right.
Do not go in the dungeon.
He says Damon is still pretty strong. Maybe you shouldn't go down there. And what does he do? He goes down there.
He goes down there.
I don't know.
He goes down there. So, Uncle Zach does what Stefan tells him not to do.
Right. He says he's still very strong. Don't go to the basement.
He's stronger than you, at least. Do not go to the basement. And Uncle Zach's like, well, I think I'm going to go to the basement.
Yeah, he's
so
I got to go see what he's doing.
So he goes down there and then he tries to be like, oh, I'm full of vervain. Don't mess with me. And Damon's like, okay, and messes with him.
Yeah. He gets catty. I think he forgot that he could turn around and still grab him really good from the door.
And Zach makes a note. He makes a comment to him. He's like, you basically just come around to let me know that you're letting me live. That's the only reason that you come around, which that's what I'm saying. Again, there's some backstory there. We don't know how many uncles they are separated from, but there's definitely some backstory there coming. But Damon grabs Zach, but Stefan saves him.
Yes, Stefan
just
shows up and saves him.
Yes. And then he ends up being late for Elena because of this, which is a whole thing coming up soon.
Right.
So Stefan ends up being late. She's venting to Matt. All of that stuff is going on. And then this is like where it gets really, really fun. An old man shows up.
Yes.
And he's just kind of like...
He's like, I know you.
He's like, yeah. He's like, you haven't aged a day, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you look exactly the same as when I saw you like a long time ago. And Stefan's like, no, I don't think...
I think you have the wrong person.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. And he's like, nah, dude, you look like... He's like, maybe I am wrong. Maybe I am wrong. Like, maybe he's like, maybe I'm just like old thinking of it. But man, you look just like him. And I've actually been waiting for this to happen because... you've lived in Covington your entire life.
Right.
So if somebody you knew still looked the same 20 years later, or 50 years later, you'd probably have some questions about it.
We'd be talking about it for sure.
That's why. So I was excited that there was a local that came in that recognized one of them.
And they're like, yeah, I've seen you before.
Yeah, he's like, this is getting a little weird. So, and that throws off Elena, right? Because Elena's standing there and she's like, what do you mean you've seen him before?
Yeah.
And so is taking in her mind, right? So things are starting to come together for her.
She's starting to add it up and make notes for later.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, we got Sheriff Forbes looking for what she calls, like, habitats. So she's looking for where
vampires would be.
The way that they seem to know vampires is they are creatures of the night.
Right.
They travel in packs.
Yeah.
And we do kind of see that in this season coming up, but that's not something that really sticks the whole time. Vampires do seem to be really solo creatures throughout the series.
Yeah.
And
they definitely don't know anything about the daylight rings.
No. So they don't know any of that stuff yet. So anybody could be a vampire right now, but they don't they have no idea about that. Yeah. They're just looking for a group of, mangy people running around at night.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah. So then we got Jeremy. He checks in on Elena.
Yeah.
He tells her.
That was kind of sweet.
It's very sweet. It's very sweet. And I think Jeremy's sober right now.
Yes,
so,
he looks, And
he says, you look like you need to eat. You should go downstairs. And then she goes downstairs, and my boy Stefan is making her some chicken parm.
Yeah.
All right. He's really upset they didn't have fresh mozzarella.
Right.
He had to get the store brand, I think is what he said. But he's making her chicken parm, and he says, if you're going to break up with me, again, they've been on 3 dates.
Right.
If you're going to break up with me, then you should know who you're breaking up with. And he starts telling her all the fun stuff.
Yeah.
The different bands that he's into, the different TV shows that he likes, and, the nice, fun, get to know you. Let me distract her with this kind of information. Let me give her enough that she'll stop asking questions.
Just enough to where she knows something, but not really nothing.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And then he proceeds to tell her about Catherine.
Yes.
And this, again, is where I started to see some red. I know it's a show, y'all. I swear, I know it's a show. But he's 17 years old. And again, as I'm rewatching it as an older person,
it's different.
I'm trying to figure out where Elena's mind is, where her brain is, to where Stefan has already had like this great love, and this great love has died.
Yeah.
And now he's met you. It's a lot. Again, it is a lot.
But I think she's just thinking maybe if there was just one love before, maybe it does make sense.
Yes. And then he says something that is clearly another lie, because he says, I miss her, but I'm no longer crippled by her death. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to call bullshit, because you're trying to date her twin. All right? You're trying to date the person that looks exactly like her. That is about as crippled as you can get. Okay. Yeah. Besides having a Frankenstein version of Catherine, Elena is, so that's not true, Stefan. You're trying to be truthful, but you're not being truthful.
Mm-mm. That's just trying to give her a little bit of.
Yeah, he's just trying to get her to, he's just trying to give her enough rope to where she'll stop asking questions.
Yeah. She'll think it's all about her.
Now, Vicky tries to crush up the pills with the Gilbert device, and Jeremy's not happy about that.
That's an antique.
And then she says something like, now that we're together, are you going to try to change me? And I do have to agree with her.
Yeah.
I think that it is annoying. I can understand her being annoyed that they just started, this is a new thing, we're exploring it, and he's already like, well, maybe we don't have to get high all the time, or she needs to she needs some time.
Needs a minute. She needs a minute. Yeah.
She does need a minute. And but Jeremy doesn't. Jeremy's ready to give it all up for Vicky. So
he's wanted her for a while, and the fact that she showed up in his bed is,
Yes.
making his day, life, week.
And then they crush up the pills with something else, and they end up doing drugs. So we don't see them for a while. We go back downstairs.
Yep.
This is where it gets crazy, because we've seen Stefan's eyes change a couple of times, but he's been able to control it.
Yeah, he's been able to turn around or whatever.
But this time it was a long time.
Yeah, it was, the blood, because she cuts her hand.
So she cuts herself. So I wonder if it was also like because he had feelings for her and he smelled her blood.
Maybe.
Because, I'm not saying, Twilight, but I know in Twilight, Bella smells terrible to Edward because of that, right? Something along the lines. So I wonder if it's something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just saying, because it seems to be like he's been around. She cut her leg and that didn't happen. Right. Like he didn't take that long to turn back. But she sees him in the window.
And she turns around. And she's like, she knows she saw it before and thought she was wrong. And now she sees it again. And now you're thinking, I saw this before.
And then this time she's like, Stefan. Stefan, like trying to get behind him. So it was like
he's just turning his head each way.
Whatever. And then he finally was like, oh, hey, sorry. I think I just had,
something
I'm good.
in my
I'm
eye.
good. So that gets weird. All right.
Yeah.
So then we got the Sexy Suds car wash.
Yes.
All right. And it's a big deal. Caroline's like, everybody show up looking hoochie. Y'all look good. Okay.
Yeah.
We want you in your short shorts. We want you in your 2 pieces only. She
That's
said no.
right.
She said 1 pieces are for fatties. You're not putting on a 1 piece. So she wants 2 pieces only. All right. So everybody's at the Sexy Suds. And while she's trying to do that, she starts getting these weird little,
Like
Caroline.
Yeah.
Caroline. And it sounds like Damon. Then she kind of sees Damon, but then he's not there,
Yeah.
right? So this is kind of starting to happen to her.
Right.
And we're learning that maybe he can control her the way he does the crow.
Right.
And
because he's been feeding
off of her.
Whatnot.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is not like quite explained yet, but we're starting to put 2 and 2 together as someone watching the show.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite parts, and we'll say it a little bit later.
Okay.
But
I bet
Tiki,
I know.
yeah. So Tiki is rude. All right, she's really rude to this guy. Pulls up and she's like, "Your car is trash. You're trash."
Yeah.
And then Bonnie's like, "Why you gotta be rude, girl?" And so she basically like, when she goes to pick up the sponge, she makes the water explode, and Matt like runs over to help Tiki. Right. So now Bonnie's done this.
Yes.
And just from like looking at it and being irritated,
She's very irritated because she said it was a POS car. Piece of shit.
Then you go over to Elena and Stefan, and they're washing a car, and Elena's like, "What's up with this ring, dude?"
I can put it in my bag.
Yeah, she's like, "I put it in my bag." Because honestly, she's probably like, "That thing's fugly." Yeah. Like, it's not attractive. It's a weird thing again for a 17-year-old to be wearing. And he says it's a family crest.
Yes,
and that is from the Italian Renaissance.
I think so, yeah.
He says something about it being from the Italian Renaissance.
Yeah.
But anyways, he does not take it off.
No. And he tells her what the stone is, too, which comes into play a long time later.
Yeah,
so.
it's a lapis lazuli.
Yes.
A lapis. I may not be saying
you said
it
it right.
I did. Oh, I said it right. Look at me. Look at me.
Yeah.
That's such a big deal. Y'all don't even know. So he tells her that. And now at this time, the callings between Damon and Caroline are getting stronger.
Right. Yeah. She's starting to kind of walk that way.
She's starting to walk that way. And I don't know that she realizes she's doing that at this point. So
and we see the crow.
We do see the
She's
crow.
Kind of following
She's kind of following the crow. So they're connected somehow, summoning Caroline to what ends up being the Salvatore house.
Right.
Now, we see the old man again, and he tells Elena that he stayed at the boarding school when he first got to Mystic Falls, and that it was Stefan's uncle, Joseph, that was killed, but that he remembered Stefan and Damon Salvatore from June 1953.
And she's like, "Are you sure?"
And she's like, he's like, "Yeah, Damon and Stefan Salvatore. I'm very sure." So then he's kind of telling her this, and Tiki comes over.
And she's like, "He's got Alzheimer's."
Yeah,
dude.
she's like, "He's got Alzheimer's. Don't worry about her." So then we find out he's Tiki's granddad. And listen,
Right.
this comes into play later because there was a Twitter account called Tiki's Granddad.
Oh, you know what? I just remembered that.
Hilarious.
It was very funny.
A bunch of the cast followed it.
Yeah.
Julie retweeted stuff all the time, but it was basically somebody cosplaying Tiki's granddad, but they would watch the show and they would be Tiki's granddad.
Yeah.
Their reactions would be like Tiki's granddad, and then they would also give you updates about Tiki.
Yeah.
So it was, anyways, there's some good stuff coming with that, but we love it.
I remember that, yeah.
That was a thing in the fandom early on, that Tiki's granddad was just like a big thing between all of us. We really loved it. It was really funny.
And then next we have Elena, and she's asking Logan if he will give her a favor. If he's in Jenna's graces enough, or will he make a favor for her to get in her better graces? And
he agrees.
He agrees. He takes her to look at the archives at the news station.
He does.
Yeah, and it ends up being really cool.
Now, Caroline makes it to the Salvatore house.
Yes.
And she goes inside, and she makes her way.
She's kind of in a trance.
And she makes her way down to the basement. And when she gets to Damon, she's kind of like, "Why am I here?" And he says, "Because I wanted you to be." And then we know right then, Stefan was right. He was stronger than we thought. I mean, he had been popped with a bunch of vervain, but to be able to call someone from across town like that, when Stefan can't even barely handle being stabbed, that really tells you the difference between the human blood and the animal blood as far as like the strength of the character.
Yeah.
So what happens is Uncle Zach runs down to stop her from opening the door, ultimately getting him killed.
Poor Uncle Zach, y'all.
Yeah, Uncle Zach does not make it out alive. And for some reason, Damon, because he's got the vervain. So Damon doesn't bite him. So Damon just snaps his neck. And then he chases Caroline.
Because he wants to feed off of her.
He wants to feed off of her because he knows the vervain's out of her system at this point.
And he's got to have some human blood.
And he needs some human blood. So she gets to the door and bam.
There's that sunlight.
Not good. Yeah. Not good. He's frying up.
Yeah,
all right. He's KFC right now. He's KFC right now. He's crisping. They ain't happen. It's not happening. So he starts to flame up a little bit, and he's like, ah.
Yeah, that was a really cool thing to see.
That was cool.
Yeah,
because then we understood
how bad the sun could be to them.
Right. So we kind of didn't really know that before. All right. So Bonnie
in the parking lot. This is one of my favorite scenes. I loved this scene.
This is a very good scene. And I love this scene, too, because of Bonnie and Stefan. I think this is a good Bonnie and Stefan moment. So, again, Tiki's kind of getting on Bonnie's nerve. She tells her that she's got to take the brush and dry the entire parking lot, which is crazy because
makes no sense.
It's water. The sun's going to do that. Especially, like, we live in the South. We know. Okay?
We know it's happening in about 3 seconds flat.
Yes. It happened right before we started recording this podcast tonight. So... so she gets kind of irritated and she's like concentrating, right? But she doesn't realize that she's in a trance, and it lights a fire from where she is all the way to the car, and then the car blows up and the flames are just going, and then Stefan comes over and realizes what's going on.
Right.
Stefan probably knows about witches.
Yeah, I think he knows what's up. He knows because she said Salem witches before.
She said Salem witches.
And now this car's on fire and he can see her in a trance. I feel like he probably puts two and two
together. And we're going to learn very, very soon that he knows who the Bennetts are.
Right.
Yeah. So he's trying to help Bonnie. He can see that she's kind of not having a good time.
He's shaking her. Bonnie.
And then as soon as that happens, the fire stops.
Yeah.
Right? So the fire stops, and she's like, did anyone see? What did I do? And he's like, no, nobody saw. Girl, everyone saw. They didn't realize that she was doing it. But, I mean, if nobody saw the fire, that's crazy.
Right.
That's crazy talk. Yeah. No, everybody saw the fire.
Especially when we still got some soot over there.
Exactly. Then we got Elena, right? So she's going to dig up this information.
Right.
She's like, you know what? Things aren't making sense. Let me just check out what this old guy has to say. Right. Let me just make sure that he's not lying. Maybe there's something
Logan's
going on.
Taking her to see these
archives
of the 50s.
He says everything's digitized, so she can go through her computer. She can start going through everything. And then as she's going through it, she sees Stefan.
Yeah.
So she sees him on the porch.
They say, is that the nephew?
Is that the nephew?
Zoom in
and they zoom in. And I do want to say, where was that camera when Bigfoot was around in the 1950s? Because the zooming in on there was fantastic.
Yes.
It is a very clear face for a camera being used in 1953.
I have to agree with that,
I don't know, but I just wanted to mention that. So now Lena's like, she's got questions. She's got a lot of questions because now we've got matching names that go back 160-something years. Now we got faces that are looking the same that are showing up 50 years earlier. So, just to wrap up a couple of things before the end of the episode, Damon kills the crow.
Yes.
And I think that it's important to bring this up because the entire fandom, including all of us, we all go, what happens to the crow? The crow, they never bring back the crow. Because Damon ate it.
Yeah.
Damon ate the crow. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more later. But you see the crow had been bitten and eaten outside of the dungeon door.
Yeah.
And that's because he couldn't get to Caroline. So he had to summon in the crow, and then he ends up eating the crow. So the crow,
gives him a little bit
gives
more
him a little
energy to get a little further.
Get a little taste of what Stefan's going through, just something like that. And then, Jeremy and Vicky, they're all partying out in the cemetery, and
the Salvatore Crypt with that.
Yeah, at the Salvatore Crypt. So they're out at the cemetery, and the music stops, but they all make Vicky go turn the music on.
Yep.
And then our boy Damon attacks her again.
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 Come here, I gotta tell you something.
So, again, back to the Vicky hot guy pipeline, okay? She must taste pretty good. If Damon's like, because there's a lot of people in town he could have went for, but he went to Vicky, okay? In which we're going to see there's a plan for that. So he gets Vicky, and then we see Bonnie go to Graham's.
Yes, and she's like, something's happening, I don't understand.
So Bonnie goes to Graham's, and she doesn't understand what's happening. Graham's invites her in.
Yeah.
And then Stefan grabs a stake. He's going to go take Damon out because he finds Uncle Zach, cousin Daddy Zach dead, and he's gonna go kill Damon.
Right, he's got his stake. He's running.
He's ready to go. The door opens, Elena Gilbert standing there, and she just says, "What are you?"
Yeah.
And the episode ends.
Yep.
What are you? Well, we know.
We know.
Yeah, we know. We know.
She's starting to figure it out.
She is starting to figure it out. Listen, she's about to write a dissertation on vampires because it's coming. All right. So that's it for the recap.
Yep, I enjoyed this episode.
Yeah, I enjoyed this episode too. Episode 5, You're Undead to Me. This is a pivotal point in the show where things are really starting to cook.
It's
and
amping up. And
I think that it seems like you might feel like things are going fast, but when you realize how many episodes this show ends up getting, it's not. Nothing's going too fast. There's so much story to tell. It's been great. It's been great so far. Can't wait to get into next week. The behind-the-scenes stories that we share on this podcast are ones that we either experience firsthand or have been given permission to tell. Please don't repost or claim these stories as your own. This fandom thrives on respect, and we want to keep it that way. Also, please keep in mind, we're going off memory here, all right? It's been well over a decade, so while we're doing our best to be accurate, we might get a few details wrong. A few of the small details could be off. And you know what? We do encourage you to feel free to message us very nicely if we've gotten something wrong.
All right, guys. So this brings us to our Covington connection for this episode. And if you didn't notice, there's not a lot that we see here in actual Covington. And you may not recognize what is Covington and what's not Covington anymore. But I can tell you when they're at the school and they're in the parking lot and she blows up the little car there, that's actually at their sound stages. Mm-hmm. When you see inside the school, that's at their sound stages. They actually painted the walls inside of this warehouse to look like a school, which eventually they added all the lockers and all that other cool stuff. So, and we'll go over that a lot as we go through the series. You'll begin to see and kind of notice those things. We do see Graham's house though, and that's going to be one that we see a good little bit. Mm-hmm. And it's changed a lot now from what it looks like back then. You know, it was
the bones are still there though.
The bones of the
house are still there.
Yeah, it still looks like the same house. It's just a different color. You know, things like that happen as time progresses and whatnot. But we see Graham's at the door when Bonnie comes to the door and she doesn't really understand. And we're going to talk more in the next couple of episodes about that house too. But we were lucky enough to see filming of that episode out front. And a little fun fact is, because they only had that one little shot here, they actually waited until they were filming the next episode to film that shot. So we saw a lot of filming there, but it was actually 2 episodes instead of just the 1 episode that we're talking about now. So just a little fun thing to kind of to know. They're not going to come to town for a 10-second take. They're going to wait, and they're going to do that take when they're already here. So a lot of times they would drop and do 2 episodes together. The episode before, the episode after, you do them together, and you do all on location at once. So we saw that a lot here. So
now, how excited were you to see Jasmine Guy?
Oh my gosh, I was a big Different World fan.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so for those of you that are our age that don't know, that was a show that she was very, very big back in the 90s. And she was a big deal on that show. So yeah, I was really excited to see her, and it was like, oh my gosh, it's Whitley Gilbert. So yeah, that was fun.
About as professional as they come too, which we'll talk about as we go through it. Man, Grams is so dope. I'm so excited to get to know Grams all over again in this show. Her character is fantastic.
Yeah, we had a good lot of fun with that one. Yeah.
So for this week, we don't really have any receipts. Most of this episode, like we said, was filmed at the stages. So we just had the little bit with Graham's house and the other things that Jessica already talked about. So no receipts this week. But
well, we have some Mystic Falls High School stuff, but we're going to save that.
Yes. So I say no receipts. We have some things that are in multiple episodes, and we think it would be better for different episodes. Does that make sense? So
when it's more prominent.
Yes. So when it's a more prominent part of the episode, then we're going to bring out that prop.
Yes.
But we can still do our MVP and our quote of the week. So my MVP Duh, y'all. It's Tiki's granddad. Okay, it is Tiki's granddad. I love him so much because let's be real. All right, he's out here connecting everything. He's got 1.5 scenes in this show, and he just turns everything upside down. If it wasn't for Tiki's granddad, Elena wouldn't be asking these questions as soon as she did. So Tiki's granddad, that's the MVP. All right.
He saved us 2 episodes.
We love a townie historian.
Yes.
All right. We love someone who's paying attention, he brought the receipts.
Right.
He brought
I'll
the
give him
receipts.
that,
Yeah.
All right. And my MVP is the Crow.
The Crow.
Because, he gave his life for Damon, and we all know that I love Damon.
Yeah.
So,
if the crow hadn't died, you guys, I mean, I guess eventually he would have got to Vicky, but he may not have had enough strength to get to Vicky without the crow. So, unfortunately, that is where the crow goes to heaven.
So, bye-bye, Crow. I will tell you, though, we do have a box. I forgot about that. We have a whole box of crows from the soundstage that they gave us.
Okay.
We'll have to bring them out one day and just show them just for fun.
We will. We just have to get random ones that we'll just hang on our shoulders and stuff sometimes. Yeah, that'd be fun. Okay, see, as we talk about stuff, we remember there's even more stuff.
Yeah.
Jessica, both of us kind of decided not a lot of good quotes this episode, but I will tell you my favorite quote. I love this scene so much, but when Matt Donovan and Tiki are doing the little water fight, he just goes, "Wet and wild, Teak."
Yeah,
it's so funny to me. Wet and wild, Teak. Anyways, that's my favorite quote from this episode. Yeah.
All right.
We have now reached our fan throwbacks and theories portion of the podcast. The theories are starting to get crazy. All right. So people are I think everyone is starting to wake up the way that we did, or the way that we're starting to. But I do want to say there's one that I didn't put in here that I actually wanted to kind of talk to you about. But someone made a comment that they thought that Vicky might be a witch, and that's why Damon is so drawn to her. And I never thought about anything like that in the beginning, but you find out that her mom may or may not be something supernatural way down in the series. So I think the thinking there was good. The thinking there was good, because it did seem weird that he kept eating on Vicky. So the thinking there was good, but not quite. So anyways.
All right, how about Stefan's cooking chicken parm in full vampire guilt mode is the most CW thing I've ever seen.
It's true.
Yeah, I'll give it that. Yeah. All right.
Also, someone said, I'm just saying, Vicky is always where the vampire action is. What if she is being used as bait? Okay, that is also good. I think that this person is insinuating maybe there's another vampire. Maybe there's... Because even though Sheriff Forbes talks about the vampires living as groups and all that, and we don't see that with Damon and Stefan, but that doesn't mean that they're not doing it.
Right.
That doesn't mean that Stefan doesn't have 9 vampires also living at the house. I mean,
we just haven't seen it
maybe we
yet.
just haven't seen it yet. You don't know. So I can understand where something like that would seem feasible.
All right, how about, I don't know how to explain it, but I'm still attracted to a desiccating Damon. Okay. Don't tell us, but tell us, darling.
I think most Damon fans will agree with that, because there's actually a few moments in the series where he's desiccating, and they're pretty popular memes and GIFs, or whatever you call them, TikTok moments, things like that. So desiccating Damon is a thing. It's still,
if you're a Damon fan, you're a Damon fan.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what he looks like. They don't care. Desiccating Damon, we'll eat it up. We'll still make out with it. It doesn't matter. They love him. They love the guy. And then we got the look she gives Damon's cell door before she leaves the house. She remembers something. She just doesn't know what it is yet. Obviously, this is referring to Caroline.
Right.
I also agree. Kind of seems like there was a spark, something where she's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's why she starts running. She thinks and she feels fear.
Yeah.
So those are some pretty good throwbacks. I think that people are starting to get it. It's starting to get real good. The theories are starting to get real good. We've reached our Brothers Bond moment. And again, I have come up with my own drink. All right. So please sponsor us, because now I'm making my own recipes.
Bond.
Yes, Brothers Bond. Please sponsor us.
Sponsors.
Yeah, we need sponsors. Also, I'm making good recipes. All right. You guys are going to see. These drinks are fantastic.
Maybe they'll want to use these on their social media.
I'm hoping that they will. And I will say this, and I'm not even mad about it. But a while ago, long time ago, because Paul Wesley is a vegan now.
Right.
And I've been a vegetarian for a very long time. So I tweeted at him a recipe for an almond milk eggnog drink with Brothers Bond.
Right.
And then a couple weeks later, he posted an oat milk eggnog drink with Brothers Bond. And I was like,
yeah,
that was kind of my recipe first. But if you'll sponsor us, I'll cancel the call to the lawyer.
All
right. So... All right. Our Brothers Bond cocktail this week is going to be called Front Porch Memory. All right. It is dedicated to the one and only Tiki's granddad. Yeah. He saw the Salvatore brothers once in 1953 and again last night. He remembers everything. And this drink, it's got the same slow burn. All right. It's peachy, it's smooth, and it's a little sharp. And in honor of Tiki's granddad, a man with a rocking chair, a long memory, and no time for disbelief. So with this one, we're going to switch it up. We're going to do the Brothers Bond Rye this time. If you don't know, Brothers Bond actually has 4 varieties of the whiskey or the bourbon right now. And this one is a very popular one. Actually, I remember specifically Matt Davis being mad at me at the party that we did at Lockwood last year because I brought him the regular Brothers Bond and not the rye. And I was like, I'm sorry. You can go down the flight of stairs and get it yourself. Yeah. So... this is going to be 2 ounces of Brothers Bond Rye, a 3/4 an ounce of lemon juice, a 1/2 ounce of peach syrup, and a 1/4 ounce of simple syrup. And then again, a dash of bitters if you're feeling bold. Not for me. I will not be doing the bitters. We're going to put all of those ingredients into a shaker with some ice. We're going to shake it real good until it's cold. And then we're going to strain it into a glass with ice in it as well. So we're going to strain it into a glass of ice because we want this beverage to be really, really cold. And then you're just going to sip on it and you're going to watch the show. And if you make the drink, which I hope you do, make sure you tag at Brothers Bond Bourbon. Use that hashtag Bloodlines and Backdrops. And let us know if you liked the Front Porch Memory. And I'll show you guys how to make it again. We're going to make it live. Well, not really live, but we're going to record me making it. I do like to get a little drunk at the end of these episodes so I can really prove to Ian and Paul that I am dedicated to
the sponsorship
and for Brothers Bond to please join us.
Our Brothers Bond moment this week for episode 5, Your Undead Sweet, is another drink that I have come up with. And it is in honor of my favorite character this week, who was no other than Tiki's granddad. Okay. This drink is called the Front Porch Memory. This would be the first time that we use the Brothers Bond Rye in a recipe, and also the first time I'm drinking the rye. Tiki's granddad saw the Salvatores in 1953. He's exposing the vampires in town right now. Let's mix up our Front Porch Memory. All right. So we're going with the Brothers Bond Rye. We're going in with 2 ounces. All right. 2 ounces. This is going to be the only alcohol that we have. 2 ounces. Again, not a bartender, just a drinker. So I just want everybody to know, you start leaving me comments about how shitty of a bartender I am. I do know that I'm a shitty bartender. All right. Also, this is a jewelry counter, not a real bar. Okay. Then we're going to go in with 3/4 an ounce of our lemon juice. We're going to pour that in, right? And then we're going to go in with a 1/2 an ounce of the peach syrup. We're going to pour that straight in there. Yum, yum, yum. We're going to go in with a little 1/4 ounce of our simple syrup, which is just an additional sweetener. Right? We're going to get that together. Again, we're going to put this in. Boom. We're going to mix it, all right? We're going to mix it. We're going to mix it. It's looking good. All right. Mix it. It's cold. We're going to pour some ice in a cup. And I always have a hard time getting this on. There we go. Okay. We got it. We're going to strain it over the ice. Cheers, everybody. This is Front Porch Memory in honor of Tiki's granddad. Yes. Yes, please. That is delicious. The rye and the peach go really, really well together. I'm going to take another sip. This is really good. please make this. Please share it with us. Let me know what you think. We'll see you next week.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to episode 5 of Bloodlines and Backdrops. You know, whether you're sipping that drink we just talked about or side-eyeing your suspiciously youthful boyfriend, we hope you enjoyed unraveling the mystery of this episode with us. We want you to join us next week where we find out if Stefan answers Elena's question and if he's going to finally start telling some truth. Until then, stay safe, stay vampy, and remember, in Mystic Falls, nothing is ever as it seems.